Hello, welcome to my channel or welcome back. My name is Alyssa and today I have an update for my Pan That palette. So this Pan That palette was actually started near the end of last year, well, in the last quarter of the year. And Pan That palette is a project that's been going on for a while on YouTube with just trying to use up an entire palette. It could be eyeshadow, it could be a face palette, things like that. And so I did finish a palette last year, my original Pan That palette for the start of the year. And while I was wrapping it up, I decided to bring in my Stone Vibes palette because I know that the formula is changing on it. It's not as good as it was. And so I would like to kind of, give it a last hurrah. I will say that I have not been focusing as much on the mattes. So I did use 2 of the mattes that are left. And after this, I'm probably not going to be using them again unless, I don't know, for some reason I'm really motivated or interested in using them. They're just not, they were never my favorite shades and not even close. So, there is decent pan on 2 of them and the other one I'm just really not interested in. It's just a very warm brown. I have these shades or very similar ones in my collection that are better and that I would rather focus on getting more use than the ones in here. So the main shadows I've been focusing on are the shimmer shades. So there were 8 shimmer shades to start with, and I had finished one of them already. So let's go ahead and see how it looks now. So I actually finished 2 more eyeshadows, and a goal I had been giving myself was to use every eyeshadow in the palette 4 times each. I decided just on my own to not do that this time. Instead, I wanted to, try to use up eyeshadows and make that more the focus. And so if I'm using more one color, and feeling motivated about that one color, then that's better than, because for uses, it was kind of becoming a little bit demotivating almost, where I'm like, oh, okay. I think I just said in the last update, oh, it's not so hard to do that. Well, it's a month later and I decided that I would rather just, use them as I feel like I want to use them, but, making sure I am getting uses in. But maybe, like I said, it's not divided evenly and it's more like, all right, I'm going in really hard on this eyeshadow right now, and then I can use it up, and then I can move to the next one, and that kind of thing. So there were 3 eyeshadows that are close. One of them is still very close. It's my favorite eyeshadow in the palette. So maybe that's part of the reason it's still hanging around, because I know I only have probably one more use with it, and so, it's a little sad. But yeah, as far as uses went, the first one, it's been done, so there wasn't anything. I used the green shade 1 time. Then this was a light blue. Well, actually I have it on right now. So it is very silvery. If you want to see how it compares to other silvers in my collection or gray eyeshadows, I have a what is silver video. And so this one I was kind of like, hey, it looks like it's more of a light blue with bits of pink in the pan. And there is a bit of that when you come in close on it. I'm not sure if it'll show because yeah, this camera doesn't maybe do all that, and my lighting's not ideal for showing that. But when it's just kind of spread out and put on, it just comes off more silver, which I'm like, was it always? Or is it just that it's changed a bit? I don't know. But yeah, I'm sorry, did I say 4 uses? Maybe I didn't even say. I used it 5 times and it is all done. And then the next eyeshadow, which is my favorite, I've used 3 times. So again, I'm very close. Probably if I had done a 4th use, it would be done, but it's fine. The next eyeshadow I used 4 times. This one, there's still a good bit of it left. The peachy matte I used 3 times, and like I said, I think I was sort of that was still more in the beginning of the month where I'm like, all right, let me try to get those uses, and then I'm like, you know what? Why bother? I don't want to finish this eyeshadow. I'd rather use something else. So yeah, we're just gonna not worry about it. Then on the second row, the first shade, I didn't bother using at all. Like I said, given up. The next shade I've used twice. The 3rd shade has been done. That was done last time. And then the next eyeshadow I used 3 times and finished it. The next eyeshadow I've used twice, and I actually have, I only have 2 eyeshadows on right now. I have the, like I said, that more silvery type of light, it was a light blue, but it looks more silvery. And then this kind of more brown here, and here is that second to last shade in the palette. And then the last eyeshadow I did use 4 times, but like I said, I'm probably done with it unless it's just that it's handy and it's there and I use it, but that's it. As far as weight changes in the palette, last month was my biggest change. I had lost 2 whole grams, so I wasn't expecting a repeat of that, but I did still have a really good usage time. I used 1 700 grams because it was 208 and 3900 grams, and now it is 207 and 3200 grams. So this is my, yes, this was my 5th update for this palette, and so I'm definitely going to finish Tiger's Eye before the next update. That I think will happen. As far as finishing any other shades, I think unless I use some of them on my nails, which sometimes I do, they do actually work well on my nails. Unless I use it on my nails, I don't think any others will be finished by the next update, but we'll see. So I like that I'm not maybe stressing myself to use, you know, everything 4 times. I do only have 4 main shimmers and like 1 more use of another one. So, you know, we're making good progress. I don't know, I think a goal might be to use around 1 gram because I feel like that's been kind of, you know, what's been happening, that I'm like right around it. So, you know, somewhere around 9/10 to a whole gram would be a good goal to have. And so then again, it's also like not that I have to use an eyeshadow so many times, it's just uses to get that done. So hopefully you enjoyed seeing the update. Like I said, I think it's, you know, there is excitement. I finished 2 eyeshadows. I do feel like, I don't know, I'm not having the proper full enthusiasm, but I will say I've had a migraine for multiple days now, and so, you know, that's probably why my energy is not quite there, but I am excited on the inside, I swear. And so if you want to see more updates, maybe you'll subscribe. I'm trying to hit 500 by the end of this year. And I want to thank you for watching. Until my next video, I hope you'll be doing well, and I'll see you then. Bye!